Hello again, this is Alan Stevens welcoming you to The Media Coach, and this week, Coffee in Birmingham, a new programme for professional speakers, the voice of sport, a YouTuber embarrassed, a long speaking career, keep egg off your face, how to be a social media magnet, an interview with Jackie Barry, and music from Judy Dybel, Andy Lewis. I was in Birmingham this week being interviewed for a role at the World Indoor Athletics Championships next March. On the way there, I put out a Facebook post to say I'd be around for a couple of hours before and after the interview if anybody wanted to meet for coffee. I had a reply from another interviewee who was there at the same time slot saying they'd been reading my posts for a while and they were interested in becoming a pro speaker. So we had a great chat and I wished her well. I learned a lot about her business as well, and it was time well spent for both of us. It was a very good reminder to me to always offer people help when I have some free time on a trip. Last month, I mentioned I had a few places left on my one-to-one professional speaker program, the whole year one-to-one 2018 program, but they've all gone, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, the whole program is now full. However, there were a few people who were interested and I couldn't fit on the program, so I've decided to offer something else, a group coaching program via Zoom for up to 6 speakers anywhere in the world throughout the year 2018. So I'm going to give you 1 monthly 2-hour group call and 1 monthly 1-hour one-to-one. If you're interested, Alan at mediacoach.co.uk. I will send you details. Jackie Barry talks about words on websites. Her advice is so valuable. Here's a repeat of her interview from last year. Jackie, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Good morning.
Now, you're an expert on words and you've done a lot of work on websites. So let's talk about words on websites. What sort of trends have you noticed?
What I've noticed in the last few years is that more and more people are using what's called a content management system, a CMS website. And what that means, it's a website where they can update the content themselves.
So is that a good or a bad thing, Jackie?
Well, it's a good thing only if they know what they're doing.
Okay. And I guess from your inference is that not everyone knows what they're doing on websites. So what sort of advice would you give people?
Well, what I would say is that most business owners are too close to their own company, their own products, their own services to be able to describe them properly in language that their target audience will respond to and in a way that represents their brand and in a way that makes them stand out from the competition.
So how do they learn to do that? I mean, can they learn, or should they bring somebody else in, bring in another expert, somebody like yourself, to help them with that?
Well, of course, I would recommend that using a professional copywriter is one way to achieve it. And after more than 30 years doing this, half of my time now is spent training people how to do it themselves or how to become copywriters. And the main thing I notice that people get wrong is they write in what I call a top-down way rather than a bottom-up way.
Okay, well, how do you explain top-down and bottom-up? How does that work?
Top-down is the company talking to their audience, and bottom-up is using the language that their audience would use.
So is that very easy to do? I mean, it sounds simple, but I guess it may not be.
Well, it certainly can be taught, and there are all sorts of tips, tricks and techniques that I've accumulated over the years. But some main ones would be things like counting the number of times you use the words you and your compared with I, us and we. Making sure you answer what's in it for me from the audience point of view, and you do that by asking so what at the end of every sentence. And even simple things like instead of having a list headed our services include, you change the language to be choose from these services. So the whole time you put yourself in the shoes of the reader. That's what I call bottom up, rather than writing from the point of view of the company, which is what I call top down.
So it sounds as though you're saying to people, either get somebody in to help or get yourself some training, which also requires getting somebody in to help.
I would say so. People that have gone to school and learned how to throw a sentence together may be able to write, but that doesn't mean they know how to write good web copy that works.
Excellent, Jackie. So I'm sure people, having heard this taste of your expertise, would like to find out some more. So how can they get in touch?
There are loads of free resources on my website, which is jackiebarry.com, JACKIE, and then BARRIE, jackiebarry.com. There's the blog. They can sign up to my Writing Without Waffle tip sheet. There are free resources they can download.
I know how good you are at what you do, so I would thoroughly recommend your services and just say thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Jackie Barry there. Always good to write without waffle. Media Maestro and Media Mug Time. It's a thankless task reading sporting results on TV and radio. However, some people elevate it to an art form. The Media Maestro, who sadly passed away this week, is Tim Gudgeon. He read the football and racing results on BBC radio and television for 6 decades. He had one of those voices that was reassuring and calming, even if your team or your bet had lost. He had that wonderful knack of reading the first team in such a way that you already knew whether the result would be a home win, an away win or a draw. He was a broadcasting legend. The Media Mug, though, well, it's YouTuber Zoella. She's incredibly popular, has millions of fans, but she took a lot of criticism for her 12-day advent calendar, which went on sale at Boots for the hefty price of £50. That's a 12-day advent calendar. The criticism was not just for the price tag, but for the quality of the 12 items behind the doors. They included a number that were on sale elsewhere for less than £1 each. Of course, Zoella took to YouTube to apologise and say the pricing decision was nothing to do with her, and she was not doing it to make money. Yeah, honestly. Anyway, Boots, who were selling the calendar, have now halved the price of the calendar to £25, but it isn't yet clear whether sales have picked up. Speaking tip is about having a long speaking career. I talk to a lot of pro speakers, and people ask me how they can prolong a speaking career. Well, I've been on stage quite a few years now, so here are a few things I've found helpful. Treat every audience as though you would treat your most important client, because when you speak, that's who they are. It's really important to do your best speech every time. It doesn't matter how many people are there or how much you're being paid or if you're being paid at all. This may be the only time these people hear you speak, so you owe it to them to do the best you can while they're sitting listening. Secondly, throw away a third of your material every year, especially if it references things that happened more than 5 years ago. If you've got a great personal story that stands the test of time, then hang on to it, but otherwise be ruthless. It's tough, this one. It's tempting to keep everything you put in a speech and just refine it. But if you don't change, your speech will go stale, you'll get bored, and so will your audience. Thirdly, outsource anything that you're not very good at. If you're a speaker, you're probably not an accountant, a diary manager, a web designer, and so on. Many speakers are one-person bands and get bogged down by doing stuff that will be done faster, better, and cheaper by somebody else. Concentrate on speaking. And keep doing what you talk about. Be a shining example of it. Current experience trumps long-gone success. If your speech is about something that happened 20 years ago, nobody under 35 will know what you're talking about. And that could be most of your audience. And a bonus tip, number 5, if speaking is no longer fun, give it up and go and do something else. Now, time for some music. It's Judy Dybel and Andy Lewis.
Take me through the dusty ways, meeting friends on sunny days, summer smiling, city streets beneath my feet, melting in the summer heat, summer dancing, time to drink the wine, laughing and feeling fine as we run, holding hands through the evening lights. Moving through no songs of birds,
That's Judy Dybel and Andy Lewis there with Summer Dancing. You can find out more about that and download a copy of the Acid Jazz website. Acid Jazz. Easy to find. Media tip, keep egg off your face. It's important to be confident in media interviews and to make sure that you're not embarrassed, whatever question is asked of you. The unexpected question can throw you completely off your stride, making you look uninformed and somewhat ridiculous. You can prepare for anything that is thrown at you if you get into the right frame of mind, though. So here are a few things to remember. You're the expert on the topic under discussion. The reporter will want you to explain in simple terms exactly what's happening. You don't have to answer every question in detail. You can't be expected to know everything. Your message should be simple and you should repeat it several times. Always stay calm and you're allowed to pause before answering. As it always is, it's about preparation. Have a run through with a colleague, ask them to deliver the toughest question they can think of, and having gone through that, the real interview will be easy and there will never be egg on your face. Social media tip is how to be a social media magnet. There's a lot of advice about how to use social media to attract business. Some say you need a gazillion followers, some say you need to automate all your posts, and some say you need to be on every single network. I think it's actually rather simple, so here are my 3 thoughts. Deliver consistent, high-quality content. There are 2 aspects to this, obviously, consistency and quality. It's no use posting a large volume of material once every few weeks. Little and often is much better. It needs to stand out, so quality is vital. How-to lists work well. Yes, I know I'm doing one, yeah. Secondly, engage in conversation. It's social media, not broadcast. I've seen many streams of tweets and Facebook posts that are simply links to articles, videos and web pages with no attempt at dialogue or engagement. That is no way to build rapport. People want not only advice, but a chance to interact with you. And thirdly, promote other people. It's not all about you. If you see a good article, talk about it and link to it, even if it's a competitor. If people see you as a curator of valuable information, they will notice you and remember you. Now, are you ever asked to say a few words? If you need to make a speech, I'm happy to help. You know where to go by now, mediacoach.co.uk, and click on the link that says Exceptional Speaking. There we are. That's it for another week. My thanks to Jackie Barry, Judy Dybel and Andy Lewis. This is Alan Stevens, the Media Coach, saying if you have been, thanks for listening.